Hello everyone, welcome to this DevToberFest session on Generative AI in SAP with Google Cloud Gemini. I am Ajit Urimajlu from Google Cloud and I am joined by my colleague Ameya Suvarna. In this session, we will explore how Google Cloud products and services can help you build powerful solutions in SAP. This session is all about empowering ABAP developers. So, we will explore ABAP SDK for Google Cloud, a powerful tool that allows you to leverage Google products directly within your SAP systems. We will then deep dive into Google Cloud's AI capabilities and how you can use them to build intelligent applications in SAP. To wrap up, we will provide you with a comprehensive list of resources to get your innovation projects off the ground. And if you have any questions, please don't forget to drop them into the chat box and we will be happy to answer them. Let me ask you a question. As an ABAP developer, have you ever used Google Translate to understand German comments in standard SAP code? That seamless translation, that instant context-aware understanding, it's all powered by AI, the same AI that's at the heart of Google Cloud. And did you know that Google Cloud makes over 150 of these cutting-edge products available for enterprises too? Google Cloud has a long and successful history of bringing AI innovations to enterprises, extending our core advancements and embedding them into every element of cloud computing. We do this by bringing together innovations from across Google to help companies build a new way forward with leading-edge data intelligence, modern infrastructure, integrated productivity tools, and invisible security, all powered by the same AI technology that powers many of Google products used by billions across the globe. And everything is underpinned by our global infrastructure and tools that help developers work more sustainably. Wouldn't it be nice if all of these innovations are just a method call away from ABAP? That's exactly what we did by launching ABAP SDK for Google Cloud. Google is an API-first company, which means almost every Google product can be accessed through our REST API. And now, with ABAP SDK, you can tap into over 75 Google APIs directly from your SAP systems. If you are running SAP S/4HANA, ECC, BW, or any NetWeaver system, you can install the on-premise edition of ABAP SDK in your system, including SAP RISE. On the other hand, if you want to build side-by-side extensions, there's a BTP edition of the SDK that can be installed on Steampunk instances. Our public documentation has a comprehensive guide on how to download, install, configure, and use ABAP SDK. The QR code on the screen takes you directly to the public documentation. Let's see a simple enterprise use case where Google Address Validation API can help maintain data accuracy in your SAP system. Picture this. You are setting up a new business partner, such as vendor or customer, in your SAP system. We all know how vital accurate addresses are. They keep your supply chain humming and make sure your geocoding analytics are spot on. But here is the thing. Mistakes can happen, and even a small error in the address can cause disruptions such as delays and lost packages. This is where the Address Validation API comes in. It's like having a super smart assistant that double checks every address, catches any error, and even suggests the right way to fix them. And the best part, you can easily integrate this into your SAP system using ABAP SDK. We are talking just 30 lines of ABAP code. Let's see how it is done. First things first, each Google API in ABAP SDK has its own special class. Think of it like a key that unlocks that specific API's power. So, if you want to validate an address using Google Address Validation API, you will need to use the class that you see on line number 5 on the screen. Now, let's bring that class to life. You'll first create an instance of it and pass in your Google Cloud key name. This key acts like your ID, allowing secure access to Google Cloud. Next up, prepare the address that you want to check. The class already defines the correct type for this, so no need to worry about that. And here comes the exciting part, calling the validate address method. This is where magic happens. ABAP SDK takes over, authenticating you on Google Cloud, converting your data into the API format, in this case JSON, making the call to Google API, then neatly packaging the response back to ABAP format. And of course, sometimes things don't go as planned. You might encounter errors, maybe from the API itself or some configuration hiccup. No worries. The SDK will report these errors back to your ABAP program. As an ABAP developer, it's your job to handle them gracefully, perhaps by displaying a user-friendly message or by logging them for later analysis. But when everything goes smoothly, the API call succeeds and you will receive the validated address. Now, you can go ahead and save it in SAP knowing it's accurate and reliable. That's it. With just 30 lines of ABAP code, you are harnessing the power of Google API in your ABAP program. We call this approach the single window of interaction for ABAP developers. The QR code on the screen will take you to the documentation page which explains this approach in much detail. Are you all ready to supercharge your skills with ABAP SDK? First, ABAP SDK needs to be installed in your SAP system, which is typically done by your basis administrator. Once that is done, you or your basis admin will need to configure it for secure access to Google Cloud. After that, ABAP SDK is all yours. Fire up your favorite IDE, dive into the SDK, and start building that next big idea. Let's take a closer look at ABAP SDK in a demo system.
Alright, so it's time to go into the SAP system and look at some of the components of ABAP SDK. But before I do that, I want to show you this web-based tool called Google API Explorer. Now you heard Ajit saying that all the Google Cloud Platform services are available to you in the form of an API. If you want to understand more details of the API, you can come into this particular tool and search for that particular API and read up on the documentation. For example, there is an API called Secret Manager, which is used to store sensitive data like API keys and password, and it stores them securely over Google Cloud Platform. If you want to understand more about the REST API that this particular service offers, this page gives you details about the service endpoint, the region-specific service endpoint, and also the various methods that this particular service would have. Now, when we come into the ABAP world, these services are mapped to an ABAP classes and made available to you for coding in ABAP language. Now, if you want to understand the structure of those ABAP classes, in the SAP guide, there is a particular section called references. You can come into this and search for the same API, Secret Manager, and you will see that this particular API is mapped to this particular ABAP class. And when you look at this particular ABAP class, you will notice a staggering similarity in terms of all the different methods that was part of the API is available to you in the ABAP world as well as it will take you through all the different pre-created types which allow you to interact with the methods, passing the importing and accepting the exporting parameters. Right? You can go through this to get more details, but this is not it. If you want to generate boilerplate code of accessing this particular class or this particular API and calling a particular method, there is another web-based tool called Code Wizard for ABAP SDK. You can use this tool to again search for the same API, select the class, and which will show up all the different methods. And suppose I want to create a secret, I will select the method create secret, and it will generate the boilerplate code for you to get started. Again, this boilerplate code has a similar template that you saw earlier, which Ajit explained, following the 5-pointer developer flow for you to connect to the API, construct the input parameters, call the particular method, and handle error or success messages coming from the method call. Now, this particular code wizard is also available for you in the SAP GUI version. We will look into that in some time. One point to note that this API Explorer will not have API like address validation because that is part of the Google Maps platform. But if you want to learn more about even APIs like address validation, you can go over to the Google Maps platform landing page and you can look at all the different APIs that the Maps platform offer, right? Including the address validation API. In fact, you can go over here and even test the address validation API, try out a demo to see whether it fits your need, right? For example, here I am going to input an address which is having a misspelled locality. Even parkway has been abbreviated and mountain has been misspelled here, and this would show you how address validation API is able to process this address and correct it and complete it, and it will also show the granular details of the various components that the address validation API returns. And this exact same response you can collect it from the ABAP side as well by using ABAP SDK. Now let's look at it how this gets coded, right? Let me come back to my code wizard and search for address validation API. I will get to see the methods that are available in the address validation API, and I click on the validate address method and the boilerplate code is generated for me. I have already copied over this boilerplate code into my ABAP system, and I have pre-filled the same response that you saw me filling in the web page as well, right? Or the same input where I have misspelled the mountain view spelling, the amphitheater has been misspelled, and the park view has been abbreviated, right? And here in the ABAP world, the API is represented by an ABAP class, and in this class there is a method called validate address, which I can call and pass the appropriate input and collect the response, and this response is what would consist of the completed address. Let me just quickly execute this sample report, and there it is. This was the input that was passed in, and this is the response that I received from the address validation API. Okay, so now let's look at the ABAP SDK package. So once you import the ABAP SDK transports, you will receive a package with Google namespace, and this package will house all the API specific ABAP classes, right? And it will be available for you to consume from a package called Google/client. Along with that, there are other components of the ABAP SDK which are required for authentication, and there are a bunch of demo programs which you can execute, and there are a bunch of utilities. Along with this, you will also be getting a Spro node which houses all the different configuration related transactions for ABAP SDK. So in the address validation example, the key name which was passed here, which is responsible for authentication related stuff with Google Cloud, you will be configuring it using this particular transaction called configure client key, right? And this is the exact key name which was used in the program, and which allows you to connect to the Google API with the appropriate authentications and appropriate authorizations. And likewise, there are other configurations as well which you can do for ABAP SDK. There are utility programs. For example, one of the good utility program here is validate authentication configuration. Once you configure your client key, you can use this program to go ahead and validate whether the configurations are in place, whether it is able to retrieve the appropriate access tokens from the IAM credential server for you to start accessing, or for the program to start accessing these services. Similarly, the code wizard that we saw, the web-based code wizard, there is a local version of the code wizard also available for you to use. I can use this to, let's say, select the appropriate API class and just randomly selecting some class, and select the appropriate method from that class and generate the boilerplate code which you can use to get started with your ABAP programming. Okay. Google has been pushing the boundaries of AI from AlphaGo to Transformer. We built Lambda for human-like conversations and AlphaFold to decode the mysteries of proteins. In fact, this month, Two of our Google's DeepMind scientists won the Nobel Prize for AlphaFold 2, which predicted the structures for nearly all proteins known to science. Last year, we launched Bard, and now Gemini, which is our most powerful AI yet. And because we know so many businesses rely on SAP, we are making it super easy to bring the power of Gemini to your existing SAP systems. And to make Gemini truly accessible to everyone, we have an incredible platform called Vertex AI. Vertex AI is a unified platform for building and deploying AI models. The Vertex AI brand has been expanded to include everything we offer to support the needs of generative AI-centric enterprise. Our AI portfolio is built on top of our world-class AI-optimized infrastructure and deeply integrated with the rest of Google Data Cloud. From there, we have the Vertex AI Model Garden with Google's first-party, partner, and OSS models, as well as our AI platform, which provides end-to-end tooling to help our customers build, deploy, and monitor their GenAI models. Google is a leader among hyperscalers in offering foundation models like Gemini built from the ground up by our own AI experts, giving you unique access to cutting-edge AI capabilities. The next layer, which is Vertex AI Search and Conversation, provides the essential tools and services that developers need to effortlessly incorporate, like chat, generative AI, and search functionalities into their enterprise application. And lastly, we have our AI solutions, which provide purpose-built solutions for common AI use cases. So in a nutshell, Google Cloud AI offers a comprehensive and powerful AI solution. With over 20 years of research and innovation, it provides a deep history of expertise. The platform offers a vertically differentiated portfolio from infrastructure to models, development tools, and also AI-powered assistants. It is also built for enterprise readiness, prioritizing data governance, security, and compliance. In this journey of AI innovation, Gemini is a major leap forward. As our largest and most capable model, Gemini can understand the world in a human-like way, processing not just text, but also code, audio, images, and video. In the remainder of this session, we will dwell into Gemini's capabilities and explore how it can be integrated with SAP.
Gemini models are designed to be highly versatile and capable, excelling in tasks ranging from natural language understanding to document processing and image recognition. But how does this all happen? Let's break down the process. It all starts with a prompt, which is simply your instruction or request to Gemini. For example, you pass in the prompt, given this order request email from a customer, extract order information in JSON format. Your prompt is then processed by an application logic layer. This layer can incorporate your specific enterprise data, providing context and grounding Gemini's response in your unique business environment. In addition to your prompt and enterprise data, the application can also pass system instructions and model parameters. These fine-tune Gemini's behavior, ensuring it aligns with your specific needs and preferences. Now, Gemini takes center stage. It leverages its vast knowledge and powerful algorithms to process all the inputs: your prompt, enterprise data, system instructions, and model parameters. The result is an output tailored to your request. This could be a simple text response, a structured JSON string ready for further processing, or even a function call to retrieve additional information. Currently, There are two main Gemini models making waves: Gemini 1.5 Flash and Gemini 1.5 Pro. Think of them as two powerful engines, each designed for slightly different tasks. Both models offer a range of impressive capabilities and handle various modalities of input. But here is a key difference: they handle data slightly differently. Imagine a highway. Gemini 1.5 Pro is like a wide multi-lane highway, handling a lot of information at once, making it perfect for complex tasks. Gemini 1.5 Flash, on the other hand, is like a fast, efficient express lane, ideal for simpler, more frequent requests. Essentially, it comes down to a trade-off between the amount of information processed and the speed and cost efficiency of processing it. Pro handles more, while Flash is faster and more economical. So, whether you need the power of Pro or efficiency of Flash, Gemini has a model to suit your needs. Let's explore various ways you can access Gemini. An easy way to prototype is by heading over to Google AI Studio in your favorite web browser. It's totally free in most regions. You can even grab a free API key to use with tools like Postman. For those of you doing CAP development, SAP BTP AI Core has Generative AI Hub. Here, you can set up a deployment for Gemini models and seamlessly integrate them into your CAP application. Let's see Gemini in action. First, let's head over to Google AI Studio. Here, you can see the various models that are available, such as Gemini 1.5 Flash, 1.5 Pro, and a few other preview models as well. Let's run a simple prompt. What is ABAP? And because we are using Flash, the answers are generated pretty fast. Let's explore a sample use case for GenAI in SAP. While SAP has well-established EDI integrations for receiving order information, there are always edge cases such as email orders. Manually processing these orders can be a cumbersome process. This is where Gemini can help. With a simple prompt, you can extract the information from the email in JSON format and then use it for subsequent processing in SAP. In order to extract the order information in JSON format, we will first create a prompt specifying the JSON schema that Gemini should use. Now, let's see it in action. Let's go back to Google AI Studio and enter the prompt that we just created. And let's run it with Gemini 1.5 Flash. And let's quickly validate if all of the information from the email has been correctly extracted. So the two items from the email have been correctly extracted. The sender's name, company, and designation also have been correctly extracted from the email. The sender address here is null because there is no address specified in the email. And then now let's quickly validate if the shipping address is correct or not. So we can see that the shipping address has been populated correctly in JSON. And then the delivery date of 5th December 2024 also has been populated correctly. The vendor is also null because it's not populated in the email. If you are a CAP developer, you can head down to SAP BTP AI Core documentation, which has detailed information on how to use all the Gemini models within your CAP application. So there you have it. No matter your preferred tools or development environment, there is a way for you to prototype as well as build production-grade GenAI apps for SAP.
And if you're looking for more additional inspiration, please check out our expanding library of reference architectures showcasing real-world enterprise solutions using ABAP SDK and Vertex AI SDK. Our comprehensive documentation and articles and YouTube tutorials provide all the resources you need to get started with ABAP SDK and Vertex AI SDK. Scan these QR codes to explore deeper into our documentation and discover specific use cases. So with that, thank you for your time and do reach out to us with your questions and we would be happy to answer.